Okay, so without further ado, let's get cracking with the meeting. So welcome then. So we're going to go through our normal drill again and look into the world market sentiment, the sector sentiment, price relative worksheet, and share watch list. I think most of you guys are familiar with the strategy right now, so it really I only really need to repeat myself when we've got newcomers onto the mentorship. So as those newcomers will come on board, then we'll go through the strategy again in a little bit more detail. So let's have a look at our world markets here. And first one up is the S&P 500 index. So this is the US market. The US market continued to move higher and is looking very, very strong. So when the U.S. Federal Reserve raised the rates last week, that had absolutely no effect on the markets whatsoever. So the equity markets are still looking bullish and strong. However, we must not get too enthusiastic about these U.S. markets because their valuations on their price to earnings ratios are off the roof. So they're very, very high at the moment. Right, they also have cyclical strength, still very top heavy at the moment with defensive value taking up 50% of the pie with regard to strength. So those are the sectors and shares in the sectors that are outperforming at the moment, which normally do well at the top of the market. We can clearly see that the market is no longer expanding anymore, so we've been in consolidation for quite a while. And what our focus should be is on cyclical growth stocks and defensive growth stocks for the future. So the weekly sector analysis for you guys, again, we are seeing not much change with regard to the strength and weakness. However, we are looking weaker on the sector analysis. Okay, so the next one is a price relative worksheet, and this is where we go and compare the shares against one another in the strong sectors only. So there's also very few there. Even though the sectors are strong, we do have a lot of stocks that are weak in those sectors. So we don't really have much work to do with regard to comparing or making comparisons between the stocks in the various sectors. We are looking for what we call a little bit of a throwback, and which means we will be able to exit at the stop loss level. So there is the level unchanged there, 92.26. We went from exiting the trade in the zone, but I think if you can exit at the stop loss level, that's going to be great. Right, so sovereign food's still looking good, so we're not going to change anything there. Food producers is weak and underperforming, so obviously we're not looking at adding for sovereign foods. We are also still in a divergence there. You can see the stock price between September last year and where we are now in June, September 2016, June 2017. There's higher tops on the share price and lower tops on the MACD. Then we have Vukile, which is still real estate investment trusts, and they seem to be hanging in there, although the sector's been weak for such a long time now. We haven't had any buying opportunities for well over a year, although Vukile we managed to pick up on the 23rd of August last year. So the stop loss is above our entry level now, so we are pretty much sitting in a safe position with regard to Vukile. And yes, still just drawing those dividends and on the stock on an annual basis and get the small capital gain in growth that we're getting for the time being. So Vukile is still safe and it is a hold. Right, so nothing to report really on Skype and WhatsApp, but obviously stay in tune. We obviously keep you updated there with regard to anything that's happening on the strategy. Our watch list for this week, still the same. Capitec under the banks, the banking sector. Food and drugs, we've got Clicks. Then food producers, we want to look at Astral and AVI again. SAPI, we've already looked at. Barlow World under general industries, and NASPAS under media. So our watch list still remains the same. Sovereign Foods, Vukile and SAPI as our open positions, of which we want to close SAPI, looking at waiting for a little bit of a throwback there so we can close it. You can see the market here on the weekly bullish and bearish sectors. We have 13 sectors that are bearish, 14 sectors that are neutral, and only 2 that are bullish. So yes, the market is starting to change, which means that we may not have that much longer to wait before we'll find some nice little opportunities around the corner. So there we have published results. So that was last week, and so the red numbers across the screen. Only positive results come out from Storage Property, which is a real estate investment trust. A nice increase there on earnings. Previously 43 cents, now R1.81 per share. Next results, what's coming out here, we have Gold Brand, we have Transhex, Capitec, not Capitec, CapRec, we've got RAC, we've got Wern, Safari, Sirius and Westcol. So it's not any top 40 stocks really posting results this week, so it's going to be a relatively quiet week as far as final results are expected. Shares also coming up for dividend. Let's just see if we have any here. None on our portfolio at the moment, seeing as we only have 3 stocks. So if you have these shares perhaps on your other long-term portfolio, if you have, then you will be getting these dividends. So last day to trade is tomorrow. In order to hold, you must hold the stock in order to qualify for the dividend, which gets paid on the payday. You see the payday date that I've got there? So they've always got the last day to trade, or the declaration date. That was the date that they declared the dividend, the last day to trade, which is the last day that you as an investor must hold the stock in order to qualify for the dividend, and then they've got the pay date. So that's a wrap, guys. That's all I have for you this week in terms of the watch list and what we're trading and what we need to do with regard to our strategy. So no new actions or no new buys to take place. We need to sit on our hands a little bit longer, and we also need to just focus on getting our exit strategy correct on SAPI. Otherwise we're holding Vukile and Sovereign Foods. So it's always a pleasure to have a chat to you guys every Monday. I'll see you next week Monday, and if you have any questions or queries, give us a shout on the Skype group or the WhatsApp group, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. So have a fantastic week, and I'll chat to you guys next week Monday.